everybody's big break is made in so many quiet moments that nobody else sees.
The fear of being bad at something keeps people from trying anything. And that is a big part of activating dreams.
It's the hard work part that I think has been lost a little bit in our generation and Gen Z.
You're so nice about how you say things. Nobody wants to work anymore. Hey guys, welcome to Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Follow us on social media at Too Personal Show. Hope you had an amazing Labor Day weekend and enjoyed yourself with your family and friends. Got a little barbecue in. I'm so excited for today's guest on the show, Danielle Robay. She is an incredible journalist, a real journalist, and a podcast host. She hosts the podcast Question Everything, and she also has a really fun card game by the same name. She has an incredible story, very inspiring for young people who are trying to get into the entertainment and broadcasting business. Can't wait to talk to Danielle Robay. All right, I am so excited. We have a real journalist in the house, guys. An esteemed journalist. She hosts the podcast Question Everything and bookmarks by Reese's Book Club. Danielle Robay, welcome to Too Personal.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's so exciting to have you here.
You're also a real journalist.
No, I'm not. I will not take on that moniker. We'll get to that. I need to know why. As a journalist. Make sure you follow Danielle on her Instagram, and you can catch her podcast Question Everything on YouTube and all the podcast platforms. And we'll get to that in a second. But you can also purchase her card game Question Everything at questioneverythingshop.com. No, Danielle, I am not a journalist. I'm trained as a journalist.
Yeah.
I have a broadcast journalism degree.
You report on sports news all the time.
I discuss my thoughts on sports news. Here's why I would say I'm not a journalist.
Okay.
And why you are. Because this is one of the questions that I wanted to ask you. I don't think I'm a journalist. Well, I know I'm not a journalist. I'm not practicing. Because it's like having a law degree but not being a lawyer, right? Like, you know the law, but you don't actually practice.
Okay.
For me, I think journalism is very important. I think it is a job that is similar to being a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher, or even maybe something like a money manager, something like. There's a certain code that you should practice as a journalist, where you're not the story. And people can trust you, not necessarily as a person, but they can trust your work. And because I'm not a reporter, and because what I say is littered and piled on with biases and, jokes and, I'm an opinionist.
Okay.
And I think there should be an understood stark difference between the two, which is why I call you a journalist and why I'm trained but not practicing.
I think that's fair. I also feel like I sort of walk the line. I wouldn't call myself an opinionist, by any means, but I think I'm like a bridge. I do insert myself a little bit.
Okay, you do. So what I was going to ask you is, how do you feel that you insert yourself into conversations?
Well, when I did news, I never did.
Right.
Because we're trained not to.
Right.
But when I started my podcast Question Everything, I never inserted myself. And everybody who listened was like, hello, what about you? Like, we're coming to hear what you have to say. And I was super uncomfortable. And I think I found this middle of the road spot that I am comfortable with, which is it's not cold. I am a little bit vulnerable. I'll share if it helps warm the guest up, but I'm really there to shine a light on them. Like, the spotlight is fully on them. I'm just the bridge to that.
So vulnerability is a big part of being successful at what you do. If you are bringing vulnerability out of other people. I mean, anyone who's watched the show or knows me at all knows vulnerability is not my thing, which is ironic because I'm hosting a show called Too Personal. So in some ways, this is a therapy practice for me because I am not I wouldn't say that. I am actually a naturally vulnerable person, but I've been taught by the universe over and 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 over again that vulnerability is actually not beneficial to me. But how do you know when you have reached a point of vulnerability with someone?
I love this question. Have you ever been at a group dinner And the conversation is just kind of like, tell me about work, what's happening with your kids, so on and so forth. And then somebody asks a question and you can like feel the room change. Like either it's because somebody has welled up with tears or they've taken like this pregnant pause. Like you can just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. Like, don't you feel it in every interview you do? There's like this moment where all of a sudden you're like, oh, we just connected.
I think it's not necessarily my goal to get people to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I love having deep conversations. Like I think conversation is the thing that connects me with people the most. And I always try to meet whoever it is I'm talking to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always that it's like a vulnerable moment, but the connection part, I do feel.
There's also, I just saw a clip of you, I would say maybe a month ago, where you were talking about domestic violence. And I don't know how you sit here and tell me that you're not vulnerable after posting that clip. Like, I think you had everybody, I watched it 3 times. Like you had everybody feeling you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe you're more vulnerable than you think.
Well, I guess maybe I'm like choosy about the things I'm vulnerable about, which I guess we all are. Like unless you're just telling your whole everything.
Yeah.
We're all kind of choosing what we're vulnerable about in the public space, but I felt an obligation to be vulnerable about that.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked about it so much that maybe you're right. Like I don't think of it as being vulnerable anymore. I just think of it as a part of my story. But in this space, and it's interesting that you say that you sometimes are vulnerable.
Yeah.
It always comes with a cost.
Yeah, it does.
So it is risky to share things about yourself. And it's not necessarily that it's like you have to care about what people think about you. That is something.
Yeah.
But it's like you're revealing a part of your private self to the world.
Yeah.
And in some ways, you can't put that back if it's the truth, obviously.
So I'm a word nerd, and the Latin root of influencer is influere, and it means to flow. And so, are you an Oprah fan at all? Do you ever?
Of course.
So I love, especially her books from years ago. She always talks about flow state, and she says to be in a state of flow is when your personality and your purpose are aligned. So if influere means to flow, to me, somebody with the most influence has their personality and their purpose aligned. And when I think about all the people on the internet that are doing it the best, they're not showing everything about their life, but what they are showing up with is really aligned. Like, I think that's why people love The Rock. He shows almost, if you look, you think you know him so well, but he shows almost none of his life online. But what he shows up with is so The Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel like you're in a flow state?
I think I just reached it.
Congrats.
Thank you. There's always probably like more steps to climb.
Of course.
But yeah, it took me a really long time.
And what made you feel like you've reached that state?
So I used to prepare for everything I did with like not just hours of research and preparation, but notes. Like had I met you 5 years ago, I would have showed up here with like tons of notes. And before like we started filming, I would have been looking through all my notes. And I like threw all of that out the window a year ago, but I actually attribute it to, I think like I interviewed a child psychologist and she said, competence equals confidence.
Yeah.
And so like I wanted to throw those notes away for years, but I couldn't do it. And I think after 13 years of having professional conversations, I finally was like, I feel competent.
Right.
So I think like my confidence came from just doing it and like doing it poorly and showing up when it was really scary.
Well, it's interesting you say that because when people ask me if I get nervous for anything, I always say I'm only nervous if I'm not prepared.
Right.
Like I can do a lot of things, but if you throw me in something that I'm not prepared for, I'm questioning nervous because I'm going to fuck up. Like there's no other way around it. I'm not prepared for it. It doesn't mean
Are you a preparer in general?
I am, but I am like you also. Like I think when you're on our side of the business and you do what we do, you have to be somewhat prepared, but I don't like to over prepare because then it loses its, it loses its flow. So, you have to have some structure to everything and have an idea of where you want things to go. But yeah, I mean, Tiara does an amazing job of giving me a bunch of notes, and I appreciate them, and we'll keep doing that. but I have them more here, just in case things don't go as smoothly as they usually do. But yeah, I feel you. Like so do you feel like you got rid of your imposter syndrome?
Yes. Oh my God. I used to have it so bad. So bad. But I do think that like I had to show up and be bad. I used to have a real fear of public speaking. And you're looking at me like, how's that possible?
No, I think
Did you have it?
No, I don't. I don't have it. It's like one of the number one fears.
Yeah.
Which I do think, I'm like, guys, there's so much more to be afraid of.
Agreed.
But like, I do get it, because if you're not prepared or you feel unprepared, then it feels like the worst feeling in the world. Everyone's looking at you. Everyone's judging you.
You don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But in our business, you really can't have a fear of public speaking.
No, you cannot. It's not a good business to be in. There are other jobs.
And so I could be fine in front of a camera. I was fine in a conversation on a stage. I wanted to crawl inside of my own skin. And so I read a book called The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. And he talks about like how to practice and how to practice with intention. And he says it much better than I can. It's like a really small book. So if you're interested, go read it. But I said yes to every public speaking event for 5 years for free, because I didn't feel like I could charge anybody because I was bad. And I wanted to practice.
Were you bad though, or you thought you were bad?
I think I was bad.
Did other people tell you were bad? You were getting asked to speak publicly for 5 years. You couldn't have been that bad.
I think when you're like doing like local news or entertainment news, like people just ask you to speak at things, and I would shake. Like I was not good. And now I could like sit here and be like, I think I'm a good public speaker.
You're a great public speaker, right? We all just saw you speak to thousands of people like a few weeks ago.
Thank you. But it took me being bad for a really long time.
Well, that's the process of things, though. I don't think that makes you bad at it, because you're great at it now. I think that the fear of being bad at something keeps people from trying anything.
For sure.
And
that's so real.
That is a big part of activating dreams. It's like you think you want to do something, or you want to do something. You tell yourself you want to do something. You know you have the talent or potential to do it, but you are afraid that you're going to be bad at it. And the reality is you are going to be bad at it because you've never tried to do it. Like, you have to develop any kind of skill and talent. What is the Tebow, I think it's a Tebow quote. If it's not a Tebow quote, everyone's going to crush me. Sorry guys, I don't have Google in front of me, but it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Oh yeah.
Don't crush me if it's not Tebow. I know Tebow has said this. Maybe someone said it before. It's one of his favorite quotes. Okay, somebody else said it. I heard it from Tebow. Whoever else said it, let me know. Probably
he actually holds a lot of wisdom.
Oh,
the more I learn about him.
He's a great speaker.
Yeah.
Great speaker. Tim Notekey. Tim Notekey. Sorry, Tim Notekey. It wasn't Tebow, but Tebow quoted it really well. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So which isn't entirely true, but the point of it is, like, you have to develop your talent, and you've got to be willing to not be great at something to then be great at it.
So I'm sure you get this, but I get a lot of LinkedIn, Instagram, email messages from both men and women saying, I want to be a host, or I want to have a podcast. Can I have 15 minutes or whatever it is? Mm-hmm. And part of my career and life and value is connection. And so I try and do as much of that as I can. And I have to say, like, it's probably 1 out of 10 people that actually want to do the thing. Really, what people are calling and wanting to do is to just like have a #1 podcast overnight, or be an influencer, or have a following. But like, I woke up at 2:45 in the morning for years to do a morning show, to learn how to host live. I don't have to tell you, you've done all those things. And it's the hard work part that I think has been lost a little bit in our generation and Gen Z.
You're so nice about how you say things. Nobody wants to work anymore. I'll say it. Nobody wants to do the work.
I think Kim Kardashian said it before you.
Yeah. That went over really well. But it's true though. Like, and the internet will yell at me too and say that I didn't work hard, which is fine. But you have to put the work behind it. Like you getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. When I was getting up at 3:40 in the morning.
Yeah.
Every day for
so
2
brutal.
years. Your life revolves around sleep.
Yeah.
Everything in your life is about how much sleep you get. For Undisputed, I remember I would tell people, like, when they would ask about doing the show, and, you know, I'd be like, yeah, I get up at 3:40 in the morning. Actually, it was 3:20 in the morning. Sorry.
It's even
Give
worse.
myself an extra 20 minutes. 3:20 in the morning. And they'd be like, wow, like, I can't believe you do that. I'm like, what else would I do? Like, I'm on a network television show with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Of course I'm getting up at 3:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
I would get up at 2:45 in the morning if that's what I needed to do. Like, this is what you do.
Yeah.
And
that's that Pittsburgh in you, though.
It's maybe the Chicago in you. I think it's just, no, I just think that when you want something, you have to work for it. And in this world where things do happen with virality overnight, you can get thrust into fame and in some cases also fortune, but the longevity of it still requires you to do work. It's why, like, the influencers, like, critique, like, oh, like, you just post videos. Like, they're making those videos. As someone who like makes their own content, like, that it is taking time out of your day. They are being creative. That doesn't mean they can do every single job, but you're still making things and consistently. And if they stop doing it, they'll stop getting paid. So, like,
a lot of them work very hard.
Yeah, actually, everything that you do requires the work, and it requires you to get better.
Yeah. I think you just have to decide what you're willing to work for.
Yes. And that's the advice that I give a lot of young people, is like, you don't necessarily have to know exactly what your final destination in the business will be, but if you don't have a really clear idea of what your dream situation is and how to align for that, you'll be all over the place. Like, if you know you want to be an entertainment reporter, you should be doing things that will eventually lead you to that place. You shouldn't be taking this job or that job or why do you have a mentor in sports? It doesn't mean you can't have relationships and, you know, everything matters, but you should be looking for mentors in that space. You should be attending mixers that are in that space. You should be aligning everything that you're doing with what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah.
When did you know that you wanted to do this?
I knew in college that I wanted to do this. And I don't know what year, I'm not going to age myself, but I started in radio because I knew I wanted to do opinion. But it just really helped me to know exactly what I wanted to do, even if it was mostly me visualizing it, because it was really only Jamel Hill in the space.
Yeah.
But it's been the biggest part of my success in my career, is knowing the job that I wanted or the career space that I wanted to be in, because it kept me from just derailing into other opportunities, because you get offered opportunities all the time, as I'm sure you do, that could have taken you off your path. Well, you never had an opportunity that came to you and you were like, this is a great opportunity, but it's not the right opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And you had to think about why you were going to say no to that.
I said yes to almost everything when I was coming up, because I felt like I had to if I could get paid to get my reps in, I was in.
Right. But did you know exactly what you wanted to do?
I don't think what I wanted to do existed when I was coming up.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, I had to convince people that I could do it, because there were no women in the space.
That's interesting. And now there's like...
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of work. There could be more.
Yeah, there could be more.
There could definitely be more. There could be more women executives too.
Yeah.
So was there a point in your career where you were nervous because it didn't exist and it was not aligning the way that you were hoping for it to?
For sure. I moved to LA from Chicago and I wanted to be on E so badly. That was my dream. And I had been, I'd probably gone in for 8 different meetings with all different parts of the company at E, and it never worked out. And right before COVID, they flew me to New York for an audition. And I was like, oh, this is it. I'm finally ready. I'm not green anymore. And it was like me and I think 2 other people up for the job. And I did the audition and it just kind of like didn't feel right. And I got back to the hotel and my agent called me and he was like, they're not going with you. And I kind of knew that already, but hearing him say it, I fell onto the bed and I was like crying because I felt like that no meant that everything was over. It wasn't just no for that job. It was like, what was all of this for? I felt like I had hit a dead end. And I was dating somebody in New York at the time and it was kind of new. And it was too new for me to be like crying on a bed. Like I was like embarrassed. And he came into the hotel room and he was like, you can be sad for like a day, maybe even 2 days, but like figure out how you're going to hire yourself. And I was like, you don't get it. In what I do, you don't hire yourself. Like that's just not how it goes. You need to wait for the Today Show to hire you or The View to hire you. Like that's just not, that's not what I signed up for. And he was like, who do you admire on the Today Show? And I gave him some names and I was like, I think Craig Melvin's amazing. And I think Hoda's amazing. And he was like, are they employees? And I was like, yeah. He was like, so they could be fired tomorrow. And then what? And I was like, okay. And he was like, go make your own stuff. Like figure it out. And I cried a little bit more, felt bad for myself. And about a month and a half later, COVID hit. And I had his voice in my head. And I had Larry King's voice in my head, who was a mentor of mine. And he would always be like, you need your own show, kid. And
it's a great Larry.
And I would always be like, Larry, they're not really handing out shows the way they used to. Like he was on the radio and some guy at CNN called him and was like, hey, Larry, you want to do a show? And like a week later, his name was in lights and he had the biggest interview show in the world, you know? And it's just, it doesn't work like that anymore. And I was like, I'm going to make my own show. Like there's podcasting now.
Right. So
I did a podcast and so on and so forth. I don't want to bore you with the long story, but basically I launched the podcast and it's not like a big hit, but it's doing okay at the time. And I get a call. I'm still sort of unemployed. And I get a call and it had been about 2 years. And this woman calls me and she's like, hey, this is so-and-so from E. Tammy wants to know if you can come in and do a pilot next week. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, Tammy. And I was like, as like an audition? And she goes, no, we've auditioned like 40 people and we want you to do the show. And so I go in and I was like, I couldn't even believe it was real. And I went into her office and I was like, Tammy, why'd you hire me? And she was like, oh, I love your podcast. And that to me was like, I still get chills when I say that line because it is the biggest confirmation that you cannot wait for somebody to hand you anything. Like if you want it, you have to go create it and you have to make people see you the way you see yourself because there's no other way.
Yeah. That's an amazing story though. It's really inspiring to hear because like you took a big risk with that. And
I put my whole life savings into it.
Yeah, but bet on yourself is something that people say a lot, but I think especially in our business, we kind of don't really always know what it means.
Yeah.
And I mean, to your point with Larry, I'm on a first name basis. That's not how the business works necessarily. Yeah. So anymore, anyway. So yeah, you kind of do have to make your own thing and prove yourself. But
for sure,
there's a million different ways to get to success. It just can be really scary, especially when you're talking about money. Like, you're talking about you put your whole life savings in it, like you invested in yourself, and it could have not worked, but you were focused, and that's why it did work. And I'm a big believer in energy. Like I just believe like wherever you put your energy is what comes back to you, especially in business and especially with something that you are very intentional about wanting to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And we always like, that's not even about shortcuts. We just like things to be easier because like who doesn't want things to be easier?
For sure.
But it's just like these type of things, especially when it's something that you'll be living in your purpose, just they take you investing in yourself in whatever way that is.
Yeah.
Building it so it's a space that you thrive in.
And I've interviewed a bunch of entrepreneurs who don't believe in the word failure. I interviewed this guy, Ankur Jain, whose business I think was valuated at like $2.1 billion recently. And he was like, nothing I've done is a failure because it's a pivot into the next thing. Sure, maybe that company didn't work out, but all of the people I met carried over into my next business and like made it viable. And so I kind of think of life as like one big pivot after another. It's never really a failure.
Who was I just talking to about this? I was just talking to a friend about failure, and I was like, you can't look. Oh my God, I need to like start taking medication or something. My brain is so fried. That's what it was. I was like, you can't look at things as a failure. Like it's not a failure. It's an experience. You learned from it. You grew from it. You know 100% more about this particular thing than you did before because you had never done it before. So maybe you'll never be in this space again because it wasn't for you. But now you know the space is not for you if you don't go back to it. And B, you have a whole different outlook on how this particular thing works. So yeah, I was going to ask you what the common thing was for the successful people that you have spoken to. Because to me,
tell me what yours is. I'm so
mine
curious.
would be consistency, which kind of falls like in the same line as not having failures. But like you are what you consistently do. Like someone like a LeBron or Beyonce is outside of obviously their unbelievable talents, which is, God-given and like, there's only one Beyonce, there's only one LeBron. But all greats have something in common. And Oprah, Larry, I'm sure, they are consistent in what they do, meaning they have very strict routines. They are very disciplined. They minimize the extra decisions that they have to make. Steve Jobs wearing the same outfit every day, whatever, like parking in the same parking spot. Like those tiny things build up into being prepared for the bigger moment. Like taking care of your body if you're an athlete, putting the right things in your body. Yes, okay, I don't feel like stretching right now because I'm tired. But if you don't stretch, you're going to pull something tomorrow. So let's just do the stretch. Like convincing yourself to be repetitive. And then you're prepared for the moments.
I totally agree. I love that you said that because there's this clip that goes around the internet of Trevor Noah asking Oprah that question. And she says something that sounds really good, but I've never agreed with her. And I like always agree with Oprah. So it freaks me out that I don't agree with her. But she was like, they all know where they're going. And I actually have found that most people I've interviewed don't know where they're going, didn't know necessarily at the time. They just kept showing up. They were consistent. And everybody's like big break is made in so many quiet moments that nobody else sees. It's like the 10,000 hours of being up on a Saturday night, like doing things when everybody's out and partying. And like, it's those quiet moments that allow for those big moments that people clap for. But I 100% agree with you. It is consistency.
Well, because it's like every overnight success was 10 years in the making or, 20 years in the making, and someone will pop on the scene and they're, wildly talented. And we're like, where did they come from? Well, they've been working on this. They've been honing their craft and putting in the time and effort because they believed in themselves or they had this talent and it was something that was a passion of theirs. And I think maybe a shift in just overall society and how we treat each other that I'm seeing is that it's like you're almost not supposed to take a risk because everything is so centered around money.
Ooh, what do you mean? Say more.
Like, listen, I like money. Okay, it's great. Send me more. Would like more money. Thank you, universe. More money. But when I think of the times that like I was the most in love with the business and I was most in love with like the creative and all that, I was not thinking about money. I didn't have money. So I don't know. I just didn't like, there was no money coming. So it was like, I'm just doing my thing and I'm just getting better. And I'm just excited about this, you know, little freelance job that I got, you know, and I'm nervous and it's like this, no one's going to see this. Right. But like, it's the most important thing at that moment. And like, that would be like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're not doing the best thing right now, it's like, there's this judgment of it. Like, oh, you haven't made it yet. Or, you know, you're not able to flex. It's like, everything doesn't have to be a flex. Like some part of it can be the journey.
Yeah. I mean, I think the journey's more fun. I forgot who said this to me, but someone said to me, you have to enjoy the journey because it's boring at the top. And I was like, that's so interesting.
That like, flies really in the face of more money, more problems.
No, but if you think about like, I don't know, at least for me, like some of the worst jobs I ever had, I met my best friends.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's connection in the suffering. You trauma bond for sure.
You laugh so hard. You have stories. Like I wouldn't trade it. I don't want to do it again.
No, but it makes you. Those things also prepare you.
Hell yeah!
Like when you, especially if you're doing like live things or you're speaking. Like, I don't know if do people ask you for advice about speaking now?
Yeah.
Like how to be a good speaker.
No, not really.
No? Or like what do you do to not get nervous?
Yeah, some of that. They usually ask me how to start a podcast.
Well, yeah, you're a good person to ask for that. No, I mean, I think it's, you know, it's about preparation. Yeah, obviously. But I also always say something will go wrong. Someone will be throwing forks in the kitchen
for sure
while we're recording. Something is like a light's gonna fall or like whatever. I hope everything's fine.
But that's what live experience does
live.
For you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like those experiences where like everything breaks and you're like, all right, I gotta keep talking because we're live and this is what happens.
Yep.
You just know something's gonna go wrong. And if you expect it to, then it's like you're not completely frozen when it does, because you just know, it always the prompter breaks, all the papers fly away. It's like you've seen it all.
So this is so funny because I think I was probably 24 or 25, and I was working at Entertainment Tonight online, and I snuck over to like the main stage area of Entertainment Tonight, and I like accosted Kevin Frazier, who was the host at the time. He was at lunch, and I was like, "Can I ask you a few questions?" He was like, "Okay." And I'm asking him what I should do and how I should like strategize my career. And he goes, "Listen, who do you think's the best?" And I was like, "I think Bob Costas is like one of the best to ever do it. And I don't want to be in sports." And he was like, "I agree with you. Why do you think Bob Costas is so good?" And I was like, "He's the QB. Like when everything goes wrong, you just throw to Bob because he doesn't even need a prompter. He'll know what to say." And he goes, "You got to go do live TV." He was like, "If you know how to cover like the death of the bumblefuck's mayor,
right?
Like, excuse my language, I'm on the right show
okay,
for that.
Yeah.
Then you can cover Michael Jackson's funeral or like it all. Like you got to go do live TV." And so I moved back to Chicago and I did live TV, and I came back a different host, journalist, whatever. So I totally agree with you. You do live so much, you can handle anything.
I have handled a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to rebuke you on that. I have the things that I have had to, like the times that we have completely flushed the lineup and just had to wing it for hours at a time because a story is broken and we have no information and we've got to fill a whole show. I mean, yeah. COVID alone.
Yeah.
Not to bring up COVID, but like Colin and I did 3 hours a day for 4 months with no live sports. I have no fucking idea what we talked about. I don't know. I can tell you.
It's a good thing you got a lot of opinions.
I can tell you one topic. I don't know. What were we talking about? Who knows? There were no live sports. We filled 3 hours. I mean, we always joke about it. I'm like, I blacked out, Colin. Like, I don't remember what we were talking about. Oatmeal? Who knows? Like, but we did it because you got to do it.
It's one of those bonding moments.
Oh yeah, I mean, surviving that was absolutely crazy. So I want to talk to you about your card game.
Okay.
Well, it's not really a card game. It's a conversation prompter.
Yeah.
Which I love because I am always ready to disrupt the evening with a
With deep conversation.
A deep conversation, yes.
Yeah.
I have a joke. There's this clip online about it's like their family is visiting like Buckingham Palace and they're just like taking a picture and one of the family members runs in and starts talking about this institution and all of the things that they have done wrong to society. And like, that's me. I'm always going to bring up like some politics. Or like, did you know that so-and-so actually murdered? Da, da, da. But it usually lends to like a really interesting conversation.
Yes.
So one, how did you choose the questions? Well, tell us the bigger thing, because you've been curating these questions over your career.
Well, first of all, everybody needs a joy at their dinner party.
Ugh.
Because
I am a great middler.
You know?
I can middle very well. Do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a great middler.
This card game came because I was working at a job that I thought was my dream job. And I hated it. I would like break out into hives and cry in the bathroom at lunch. And one day I was at the gas station after working like 16 hours and I called my mom and I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And she was like, well, isn't this everything you wanted? What do you mean? And I was like, no, like this is not for me. And she was like, well, I think you should quit. Like, wouldn't you be so pissed that if you got hit by a bus, that you spent your last day at that office in Burbank with no windows?
Yep.
And I was like, yes, I would. I would be really pissed. So I quit. And I was really anxious about money because it's not like I had a backup plan. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to like babysit or like do whatever I have to do to make ends meet. And I decided to take myself to grad school during that time because there's no like schooling for what we do. Like you technically could go enroll at USC, but like it's better to just go do the thing.
100%.
So I started putting together questions that I wanted to ask people that I wanted to interview. Like if I got to interview Oprah, what was I going to ask? If I got to interview Michael Jordan, what was I going to ask? And I had a list eventually of like 1,000 questions. And around this time, because I was unemployed, I had more time on my hands. And I looked at those questions one day and I was like, I've never asked myself one question. I ask other people questions for a living. This is kind of embarrassing. I don't even know me. And why have I not been asking myself questions? And this is before I ever went to therapy. So like PSA, pre-self-actualization. And I was like, I'm going to ask myself like 5 questions a day.
Okay.
So I went through the list and I swear to God, I'm not lying. After about like 2 weeks of doing this, people were like magnets to me because I would go out into the world and I was practiced at asking questions because like asking questions is literally just a practice. And so I'd be out at dinner and I'd have like something really interesting to ask, or I'd be on the phone with my parents and like had something really interesting to ask. And people were like drawn to me. And I was like, oh, this is a superpower. Like I'm 5'1". You're shockingly little.
Yeah,
I thought you were much taller.
No, we're the same.
We are not meant to be in the WNBA. That's not going to happen for us.
It was a dream at some time. And then I stopped growing in like 7th grade. So yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Mm-mm. It's not in our futures.
It's not in our futures, but like everybody can tap into the power of questions. And when I look at like the most successful companies in America, Google, Apple, they're actually all the CEOs have talked about the power of questions. Apple uses the Socratic method, which is answering a question with a question. Google, Eric Schmidt said, we are a company built on questions, not answers. It's just, what's his name? Brian Grazer, like epic, legendary producer. He wrote a book called The Curious Mind about how curiosity has fueled every great thing he's ever done. And like, I think sometimes people look at curiosity as nosiness, so we need to rebrand it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think it depends on what you're curious about. Like if you're curious about someone else's sex life,
yes.
like you're nosy, you're not curious. There's a big difference. But you say that all these CEOs and powerful people, I try to tell people all the time, like when you spend time around incredibly successful people, the currency is information. I don't even think that that's like a revelation anymore. Like, hello, the most successful people in the world continue to stay successful because they share the information only with the other successful people. Like the gatekeeping for information is the thing. It's actually like illegal in some cases. So like, that's the point. Really successful people are always asking questions. They always want to know more because information really turns into the highest level of currency.
That's so well said. I never actually even thought about it that way. You're right. And I think that it sometimes can feel intimidating, like you don't know what to ask or if it's like weird to ask something deep. And so
it's also a sign of intelligence that you're curious.
Yes, I agree. But when you're younger, I think like you don't know that. You think it comes off as like naive and you want to seem like you're interesting, but like the most interesting thing is to be interested.
Yes. And youth is wasted on the young. We always thought we knew. You think you know everything, and generally speaking, if you are an evolving person, the older you get, you realize how little you know.
Yeah, I remember I woke up one day and realized I know nothing.
I remember that day too.
Yeah.
It changed my life. I literally woke up and I was like, oh, I don't know shit. I'm done. If someone knows more than me, I'm asking them how to do it. I'm doing whatever it is that they say. Like I am an advice receiver now. Like for years, I was the biggest pain in the ass in the world. I'm sure I wasted plenty of great advice being a pain in the ass young person. And I literally remember the day that I was like, nope, I got it. This is not, what happened? I'm going to receive. I think I just like hit rock bottom, and I was able to receive the most important piece of advice I've ever received. I've told the story many times, but it's really about focusing your energy, like I mentioned earlier. And I actually like felt the gravity of the advice I was getting for the first time. And I was like, oh, like I've been doing this wrong. Like there are people who know more than me, and I don't know everything. I do not know how to do everything. I am not prepared for the things that I want to accomplish. And I need to start listening to people when they're like, don't fucking do that.
Wow.
Now, I still don't listen to everybody, obviously. I'm still working on this craft. But it is important to know that you don't know things, because it's just like that is a sign of intelligence, that you know you have more to learn.
Yeah, agreed. Although I think to your credit, like you do have to listen to yourself too.
There's a balance of it for sure. And you should only be taking advice from people that genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
Or who genuinely have nothing to gain from pointing you in a certain direction and are, qualified. Don't get all your information off TikTok.
Or ChatGPT.
Or anywhere on the internet, honestly. Except for us. We always know what we're talking about. Okay, so let's do a couple questions.
Except for too personal. Yeah. Okay, here, you start.
All right.
And it's kind of like tarot. Like I think you pick the card that you're meant to
grab.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be a little bit more creative than the first one then.
The first one's probably the instruction card.
Okay. All right. Okay, this is up. You're right. You spoke it up. Look at this.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
What ordinary moment throughout your day brings you great joy? Look at that.
That's very cool.
Okay, so I'll ask you first and then I'll answer. What ordinary moment throughout your day brings you great joy?
My coffee every single time. I like go to bed thinking about my coffee the next day.
Are you like, do you make an elaborate coffee or is it like a simple?
No, I actually spend like a millennial $5.50 at a coffee shop because it gets me out of the house. I really don't like to leave my apartment. It gets me out of the house and then I can be out.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I like that. What ordinary moment throughout? I would say my showers. I am a big shower person. I like a scalding lobster shower. And
wait, really? Why?
Do you take cold showers? Are you a serial killer?
No, I don't take cold, but I don't want a scalding hot shower.
Oh yeah, I want my skin to like be red when I get out of the shower.
Whoa.
Yeah, the whole place has to be steamed. But like I also do just a lot of thinking in the shower.
Okay.
I practice any conversation I need to do that is like making me uncomfortable. It's just like like I do it in the morning when I wake up, so it helps me wake up, but it's also like it's just like my like focus time.
Yeah. Do you like a bench in your shower? Ideally.
I don't want to get a bench in my shower because I don't want to encourage any extra activities. You know, guys know how I feel about shower activities. Although I probably should because I can steam in there.
I just feel like it's so nice to shave your legs with a bench.
It is helpful. It is helpful. And as a recent shower faller, actually, I'm gonna order one when I leave here.
Wait,
You're already
what?
talking me into it. Yeah, I mean, it was a moment of me realizing my age. I was in I'm not gonna say where I was, but I was on vacation and I slipped and fell in the shower and it was a disaster.
Oh my God.
And I was like, have you ever fallen in the shower?
Yes, it's scary.
It's terrifying. I'm like, I understand how people die.
Totally.
You
I've
cannot-
fallen and I can't get up is real.
You can't catch yourself. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing. I was like pulling on things, pulled the shower curtain down. It's like laying, the water's coming on top of me. I've told the story before, but it's
I'm
like,
so sorry.
It's not great. I mean, I lived, thankfully, but it was not.
Were your knees and your elbows okay?
No, I was real fucked up, actually.
Oh.
I just laid there for like 5 minutes.
Poor
Okay, wait.
you.
All right, so I'll pull another one.
Okay, yeah.
This is fun. This is a great game.
Thank you.
You have to go and get this. All right. Okay. What's something kind someone has done for you that left an impact on you?
Ooh. Okay. This is a weird answer to this question, but I was dating somebody and he was really wrong for me.
Mm-hmm.
And no one said anything. Not my parents, not any of my friends. And my one friend, Julia, I'll give her a shout out from college, came to me one day. We were walking on a Sunday and she was like, D, something's off. Like you can't be with him. And I was
That's so risky
it was
as a friend.
so risky. And I was so grateful to her. I tell her every time I see her, like, I so appreciated her honesty.
That is a real risk as a friend. That's a good friend.
A really good friend. And it was so kind. Because it could have gone sideways, right?
Yeah, or you could have got super mad at her or like told her she's jealous or like all kinds of wild stuff. Yeah, I'm not that good of a friend. Yeah. I am not dabbling. No. Every time I've done that, it's backfired tremendously. So my friends have to make their own bad decisions.
Yeah.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
Something kind. Wait, I want to read it properly again. I like put it back in the stack. I think I put it in the right place. Something kind someone has done for you that left an impact on you. I feel like people do a lot of kind things for me, which I'm really grateful for. Actually, I have a friend's, I'll give him a shout out also. Bo sent me a great book recently to read. It's called The Second Mountain. You know that book?
David Brooks.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
It's a really great book. And it's about really finding your purpose, finding your flow state, and what like will motivate you throughout your life that fulfills you, not just like pays your bills, or checks boxes. So it's a great book, and that was a very, very kind thing.
That is so kind.
These are great.
I love when people send me a book.
I know. What a nice gesture. I love sending people books too. Even if I know they are 100% not going to read it.
It's just nice to be on the shelf.
Maybe it's just there. I think it's important to be surrounded by words.
I agree with you.
I have so many books I've like bought. I am good for buying a book. I've actually had to stop myself because I'm like, I don't need to buy another book. I don't need another book. I need to finish this book and then I can buy the other book.
Wait, I'm going to send you a book. Okay, wait, I need to like.
My bookcase is overflowing.
Sorry, Joy, it's coming.
You know what I should do? Thank you. I will accept gifts from you.
Okay.
She's already got me cigars. She's a wonderful gift giver. So I will accept gifts from you. I should donate the books that I've already read.
That's fair.
And then I can clear up some space.
I love like profiling somebody and then giving them a book.
Yeah,
it's like the only time it's okay to do that.
And it's a very intentional thing, right? Like to send someone a book. I think reading is super important. I feel like especially now, and for me recently, like it really has helped me focus again.
Yeah.
Because we can get into these states of like constant doom scrolling and there's just like so much overstimulation. I don't want any music on. Like I like to sit and like focus with my coffee and just relax and
That's
read.
so cool.
I have to make time for it because I have too much going on in my brain.
Yeah.
I don't want to check my phone, like just really hone in on it. So I will accept the book. All right. So in return,
Okay.
I'm going to do some rapid fire
Ooh. I like
of our
rapid fire.
own.
Okay.
And I will answer them with you as well.
Good.
Your favorite homemade nostalgic food?
My grandmother's boiled chicken.
Okay.
I don't know if it's boiled. I don't cook. What is it? Roasted chicken?
Roasted.
chicken.
Yeah. Roasted sounds much better than boiled.
Roasted chicken.
We don't want to do grandma
with
like that.
Carrots and celery and
Okay. Yeah. It's just roasted. It's got like the bone and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Roasted chicken.
How about you?
My favorite, my mom cooks a lot of dishes that are very nostalgic, but I think my mom's chili. My mom makes an amazing chili.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, she has like a very specific recipe, which I can actually create. So that makes it really good because I'll always have it.
Yeah.
But it's such a great chili. What's your most prized possession?
I have a book signed by Barbara Walters
Ooh,
that I really love.
that is a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. My most prized possession. I don't know. I think it's, when the fires were happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is interesting.
And
I asked people this question.
yeah, we had to pack go
days.
bags out here in California, in LA. And thankfully my house was not near it and I didn't have to, but I had friends that came and stayed with me who had go bags and the things that they brought were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
When I packed my go bag, there was nothing that I had that I can remember packing that I felt like I couldn't lose. And I think there's a lot of things I think I would think about and be sad about. But if I had to like grab something, I don't know. I don't know what I would grab.
Is there like a piece of jewelry or?
Not really. I would grab my passport because that is replaceable. But wow, I don't want to do that. Now I know that's not the right answer to this, but I use that passport a lot. So I'd probably try and find my passport.
I love that you would rather, you would have everything burn except for you, like so badly because you don't want to go deal with government.
I don't want to have to deal with the government. There's a better answer to that. I just wasn't prepared for it. I will text you when I have it.
Okay.
Your first celebrity crush. This is going to be embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. I think it was John Stamos in Full House.
That's not embarrassing. No. Everyone loved Uncle Jesse.
Uncle Jesse. Everyone loved Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, Uncle Jesse's hot.
Although honestly, I really loved Shamar Moore in that. What's that show that he would like the.
Girl, so two of the like hottest people on the planet.
Yeah, but I feel like that's an embarrassing answer nowadays.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say a cartoon character. So I think you're clear.
Who's your cartoon?
I mean, wasn't Kocoum everybody's crush? I mean, let's be serious. But Pocahontas movie was completely unbelievable the second that she picked John Smith over Kocoum. I mean, what are we doing, girl?
Agreed.
What's around the riverbend? Nothing. Kocoum is right there. We don't need to go around the riverbend.
At least it was like a man cartoon or like a person. It wasn't like Ursula.
No, I also loved, well, listen, Ursula had some sass. I loved Raz B.
Who's that? Who's that?
Kenny's face is crazy. Kenny, this is a judgment-free zone. He had great lips. And Christian Bale in Newsies. So I got range.
You really have range.
Yeah. Yeah. So mine are a little bit different than Uncle Jesse and Shamar Moore. I mean, Shamar Moore was obviously a crush too, but that was probably like more in college. All right. A deal breaker in friendships.
Talking behind my back gossip. Yeah, it's a no-go.
I don't know. I mean, what kind of gossip? Like to other friends or to like people who should not know things about you?
Either.
Yeah?
Say it to my face.
See, I think I prefer people to talk about me in a normal way, like when I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like,
what do you mean?
I don't need to feedback all the time. Like talk about me to our friend group like a normal person. Everyone gets complained about. So I don't know if that would be a deal breaker for me.
Interesting.
Now, real shit, like real secrets and real things that we have confided in ourselves, like absolutely a deal breaker for sure. That's the biggest betrayal that you can do to me as a person is if I confide in you something, whatever it may be, and then you use it again. Not even necessarily share it, like you use it against me or throw it in my face or something like that. Like that is an instant deal breaker for me. But like if you're like, I don't know if I really like Joy's haircut. Like, it's still,
Oh yeah, that's frivolous.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you mean like real shit?
Yeah.
No, I think that's a deal breaker for me too. My number one deal breaker for anyone is that if I confide in you
Yeah.
or I give you my trust and then you use it to hurt me, you're dead to me. It's like, I think it's one of the worst things you can do to a person.
It's cruel.
Well, it's also just like, it's very, very cruel, but it also deteriorates their ability to function.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so much more than just like a normal betrayal, because you have to trust people to move around the world. Like, whenever people say like, oh, I don't trust anyone. Like, okay, do you go to the grocery store? You're trusting that these people didn't rub the produce on the floor before they put it on the stands.
Yeah.
Like, there's a million things that we trust each other to do to move around a functioning society. So when you're doing something to someone that deteriorates their ability to like function around other people,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
When's your birthday?
January, I'm a Capricorn.
Me too. I think that's the betrayal thing.
It drives me nuts.
We're like really sincere people.
Yeah. And I do not like being vulnerable with people. Like, I don't enjoy the feeling of giving my vulnerability away. It gives me anxiety. So if I do that,
Yeah, you have to date a Cancer.
I love Cancers.
I know. They bring good things out in us.
I love Cancers. They're so lovey too.
Yeah.
They're very affectionate, which is a lot for me. But I have a lot of Cancer friends and they're wonderful. Okay, finish this sentence. Society needs more.
Love came to my mind.
It's a great answer.
Yeah. Nuance, empathy. There's a long list nowadays.
I think society needs more hand-to-hand violence.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's get rid of the guns and bring back fisticuffs. Hand-to-hand,
That's
one-on-one.
a hot take, Joy.
I think we should we should have 3 to 5 allotted slaps per month that we can use. Anything over than that is criminal. But like, people have to have a fear of not saying whatever the fuck they want to people, and they don't.
Interesting.
And I just feel like we need a little more measured violence. We need to go back to the days where you had to square up if you said something crazy.
This is why you're on live TV.
Love is the correct answer. I'm going to go the other direction. Yeah, kindness. No, this was great though. Thank you for
Thank you
for coming in. I love this. I'm 100% going and buying it. And you can purchase the card game at questioneverythingshop.com. And of course, go follow Danielle Robay, and you can catch her podcast, Question Everything, on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you. You're so fun.
Thank you. You were great. And thank you for my cigars.
Of course. We'll smoke Cohivas together.
Yes. That was so much fun. Make sure you go and follow her and get her card game. I am definitely going to bring that to my next dinner party and spice things up. It's time for Never Too Personal. If you want to be a part of the show, email us at twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram at twopersonalshow. And you should go and follow us on all of our social media pages as well. So this question is quite personal. What do I do about my girlfriend who I've been with for 4 years faithfully and still wants to use condoms? I don't know. I don't know. It's not often that you guys stump me, but I don't know. Okay, well, I will say this. 4 years is a long time. And some people really enjoy condom sex. Like, I have friends who prefer to use condoms. It sounds like you've reached the end of your condom journey in your monogamous relationship. The answer to most of these questions is to communicate. So the best advice that I can give you for this is to communicate with her that you would like to stop using condoms. Listen to why she obviously feels comfortable using condoms. I mean, sex is a very intimate thing. Obviously, it's very important to her to protect her body, which we should all be doing. But if you're in a monogamous relationship, obviously the trust that you are exchanging a safe sex environment is one that is important, but obviously very much matters to her. So I think you should communicate with her, have that conversation, understand why she feels that way. And maybe if she wants to, get tested once a month or implement something like that would make her feel more comfortable and allow you guys to, get rid of the condoms during sex. It seems like that's probably the best way to handle it. I mean, I am not a certified sex therapist. I am not a doctor, and I am not a therapist. This is just my personal advice that you guys have solicited. So I think that communicating with her, listening to her concerns, and trying to offer a realistic and fair alternative that allows you guys to have a safe, intimate relationship where she feels comfortable and you are able to enjoy sex without condoms is probably the way to go. But this one stopped me for a few minutes. I think I landed the plane though. I feel like that was solid advice. Hope it works out for you. Thanks for sending in your question. If you want to be a part of the show, twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com or Two Personal Show on all of our social media pages. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you next week.